All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elect, those that are fighting to endure to the end, and that are calling on the names of the Father and the name of the only begotten Son in all truth and sincerity, which are Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and His Son name is Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus a so-called black man. All right, and today we want to go into end times, man. Okay, because we in the end times. All right, and today's lesson is hurt not the oil and wine. All right, hurt not the oil and wine. All right, because last weekend we went into how it's going to be all out chaos here, and in the midst of that chaos, the angel is giving the instruction not to hurt the oil and the wine. Okay, amongst everybody else freaking out and panicking over what they're going to do when there's a shortage in food supply and everything else, the instruction that one of the angels was given was what? Not to hurt the oil and wine. Okay, and what is the oil and wine? What is the oil and wine representative by? This truth, this knowledge. And who has that? Only the elect. So in essence, the Most High is telling the angel to what? Hurt not the elect. Okay? Those that what? Cry inside, man. That have a understanding of this truth. Okay? Because He wants to preserve that elect. All right? He wants to preserve them. Okay? So He gave the order to hurt not the oil and wine. So we're going to open up with that in Revelation 6. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 6. It reads, let's jump up to verse 5. It reads, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. So when you go into that word measure, it's basically saying how that's going to be a moderate day's worth of appetite. Okay, so it says a measure of wheat for a penny. All right, and that penny goes into a day's wage, denarii, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to have to pay a whole day's wage just for a moderate meal, not an extravagant meal, but just for a moderate meal, you're going to pay a whole day's wage. Okay, this is going into a famine. All right, a shortage. Okay, and that's what's going to cause civil unrest. That's what's going to cause riots to erupt. Okay, because there's going to be a food shortage. All right, and the food that's available, the prices are going to be so astronomical that the people can't afford it, that they're going to what? Do whatever is necessary to get their belly filled. Okay, so it goes on to say, it says, a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny. So this is just the basic essentials that you need to get by, okay? And that's going to cost you a whole day's worth of wages, all right? Just imagine you working and slaving all day long just to have enough for a moderate meal. Not the workings, just the moderate. A piece of bread and a piece of meat. Basically is what they're going to give you. All right? It says, what else? It says, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And, here it is, see thou hurt not the oil and wine. Okay? So guess what? The oil and wine, which is represented by this truth, this knowledge, is going to be preserved, man. okay, the oil and wine would not be touched, which is this truth, which is why this truth has been able to be preserved, okay, because it was given orders not to touch it. And now that the rightful owners are returning back to it and have it, they ain't gonna be touched. Speaking of the elect, okay? So it says, Revelation 6, and the last part of that, it says, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Right, because the oil and the wine is represented by what? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, okay? That only the elect will have in these last days, okay? As it says, you must put what? New wine into new bottles, okay? And that's what we have done with the renewing of our mind. We have put this new wine that we once had, but now it's new to us all over again, because why? We lost our identity. We lost who we were. We lost the names of our power, okay? And our Savior, okay? But now that we have that back again, it's new wine to us. So we can't put this new wine into an old bottle, into old bottles. Why? Because that bottle would burst, man. So we have to be renewed by the what? By the ways of our mind. We have to put this new wine into new bottles, which represents our minds, okay? So you can't come into this truth with having old bottles, man, having old ideologies, old wine, man. You gotta put that old wine out and get this new wine. All right, this is what's going to preserve you. Because as we're reading, it says what? Touch not the oil and the wine. Okay? What else is that oil represented by? The light. Okay? That's why it goes into that parable, 10 virgins, 5 were full and 5 were wise. The 5 that were wise kept their lamps trimmed, meaning that they had the oil, okay? And those that were foolish, they didn't have the oil, man. Which represents what? The 2/3 of our people. They see the truth, but they go and walk past it, all right? And then when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be running to whoever they can buy the oil from, okay? But guess what? They're going to come to the prophets, and the prophets are going to say, not so, unless we have not enough for ourselves, man. Which is why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to remove the prophets that cluster from off the internet, from off the streets, and let all hell break out, man. Because you've been given a warning right now. All right, this is your warning beforehand. All right, and because you don't want to take heed, guess what? You're going to suffer the consequences when all hell breaks loose, man. All right, you're going to be one of the ones that paying astronomical prices just for a loaf of bread, just for the essentials. You're going to be paying astronomical prices, man. Meaning what? You're going to be slaving. All right, up until the time that they implement that microchip, and then it's over for you from there. From that point moving forward, it's only a matter of time before you get destroyed, man. Okay? So we telling our people to get right now, man. Get this new wine and this oil and put it into new bottles, your mind, okay? You can't have this new wine and this oil and still living in the world, man. You got to put off the ways of this world, all right? Or else you ain't gonna last, man. That's just the crest, the crest and crevice of this thing is that what? If you don't put off the ways of this world, this new wine will not reside in you, okay? It's gonna burst those old bottles, man. You have to put this new wine into new bottles, man, by the renewing of your mind, okay? So that's why the angel is given that what? Touch not the oil and the wine, which is why this word has been able to be preserved for such a long time. Because those that have tried to touch it had not the understanding, okay? They didn't have the understanding of this truth, all right? Because why? It wasn't given to them, all right? It was only given to Jacob, all right? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And out of that, only the elect will actually receive it, all right? And run with it, okay? And put that new wine inside, new bottles, all right? Which is why you see us out here on the highway and hedges, man, okay? To whoever would come and listen and to take this wine, this knowledge, this truth, and to run with it also, okay? So when that time of great calamities, when famine come, guess what? You will be what? Unscathed, man. You won't be touched. You're going to be provided for, all right? And you're not going to have to compromise yourself in doing so. You're not going to have to take that microchip, all right? Everything that you need will be provided for you by your Father, okay? Through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, because that's who we call on when we call to the Father. We got to go through the only begotten Son, Yahushua, all right? So getting that in context, Revelation 6:6, it says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. So very hard times. But guess what? It says, and see thou hurt not the oil in the wine. So, hey, whatever the people are going through, let them go through it, but don't touch the oil in the wine, all right? Which is what? Represented by this truth and this knowledge, okay? Matter of fact, let's go there in Ezekiel 9. To show you that. This is Ezekiel chapter 9. So let's start at verse 4. This is Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. So check this out, okay? Now the angel was given the instruction not to touch the oil in the wine. Well, what else? Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city. All right. So he was given instructions to what? Go through the midst of the city. All right. What is that city represented by? A people, Jerusalem. Okay. Those that were called to this marvelous light. But guess what? Not all of them are going to accept it. Not all of them are going to have that wine, that new wine and that oil in them, man. So if you don't have that new wine and oil in you, this is the judgment. It says what else? And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So these individuals that have a mark, which is the spiritual mark upon their foreheads, is those that have the oil and wine in them, within them, okay? These are the individuals that have put the new wine into new bottles, okay? These are the ones that's going to be exempt from judgment when it plays out here on earth, full scale, all right? These will be the ones that are exempt, the elect, okay? These are the ones that the angel are going to go over or pass over. Why? Because they have that new wine, all right? And we know Yahushua is that vine, okay? So it says, verse 5, and to the others, those that don't have the wine and oil, okay, that when they had the opportunity to get this oil and wine, they didn't take the chance, they didn't take the opportunity, which is what? Those 5 foolish virgins, okay? When they had the time to get this oil and wine, guess what? They squandered their time by doing what? Frivolous things, going out, partying, doing everything other than what they should have been doing, which is what? Getting this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So when these times come, they'll be prepared, okay? They wanted to go out, be a 2/3, party on the weekend, which, you can party, but hey, you got to do everything in order though, man. This truth comes before everything, man. Here it is, you partying and having a good time, and you don't even know who you are, man. You don't even know the dangers that's coming, all right? But yet you worried about going out, having a good time, drinking, chilling with your friends, and don't know at any time it can all go down, man. You may be out and about, having a good time out, having a girls' night out, or having a outing with your boys, and all hell breaks loose. All right, a blackout, a cyber attack. Now you don't know where to go from there. Okay, you lost. Why? Because you don't have that wine and oil, man. All right, you lost in the sauce. All right, you see, it's a difference when you put the Most High first. That's why it says in Matthew 6, seek ye. Let's get that. This is Matthew 6. Because you have to do things decently and in order, man. Okay? This truth is your number one priority, man. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 6. And we're going to read, is that verse 33? This is red letter, so this is Yahweh Shai speaking. This is Matthew 6 and 33. It reads, but seek ye first. So here it is. We're given an order, a commandment to do what? Seek ye first. Okay? That means before anything else, seek out this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness. This is what we out here doing. We're seeking out, man, because we see the danger coming. We see the impending doom, okay? We can see it because why? We're seers, we're prophets, okay? We prophesy, all right? We see the words in this Bible coming to life, man, all right? And they ain't 1,000 years away. No, they right now, man, all right? There's so many things going on in today's current events that you'll have to be blind not to see it, okay? Such as what? The tariff wars, all right? Those tariffs that they're putting on the other nations, particularly China, which has the second largest economy, is going to what? Impact everyone else, especially you Americans, all right? When you start to get laid off from your jobs because there's no work, because in order for the company to stay afloat, they have to raise the prices, therefore limiting the customers to what they can purchase, therefore downgrading the employees because they can't keep a full house or whatever of employees if there's not that much work, okay? If they stay in business just to please you, they won't be in business. So guess what? They're gonna downsize, downgrade, all right? Which is gonna cause people to lose it out here, especially when they got rent to pay, especially when they got a car note, insurance. These things ain't cheap, man. And you can only imagine as it gets later and later into the day, into the night, that it's only gonna get worse, man. All right? If you look on that doomsday clock, we in the 12th hour, man. Okay? I believe Esau got a thing called doomsday clock where he has the hand counting down to midnight, and we right there. We right at midnight almost, okay? And at midnight, that's represented by what? Thermonuclear war, okay? And we right here knocking on the door, man. All right, but war can't, all out war where the missiles come from one side of the globe to the other can't come to pass until this microchip is made mandatory, okay? And they can't make this microchip mandatory until they cause chaos, confusion, all right? Because that's how they're gonna bring it about. They're gonna bring it about through confusion, and then they're gonna mandate it, okay? You want food to eat, you want somewhere to sleep, come take this microchip, all right? Now last weekend, they were out here giving out free smoke detectors, okay? And the whole city was full. Why? Because they was giving out something free. Free smoke detectors. This whole street was full, cars on both sides. They had a little playhouse, free food. So just imagine, they gonna set something up like that, but 10 times better when they give out this microchip. They gonna, hey, Jake gonna fall for it too, because why? They don't have that wine and oil, man, okay? They don't have that oil and wine. So they gonna fall for the okie doke. They gonna set up tents. They gonna set up abandoned buildings. The buildings that you thought should have been destroyed and thrown away, those gonna be chipping houses. And it's gonna be packed once again. But hey, to the brim, okay? If last week they had cars parked on every side of the road and in parking lots, when they make that microchip mandatory, trust and believe, you're gonna have cars in line to get a parking spot, all right? And guess what? The servants, the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai ain't going to be nowhere to be found to tell you not to take it. It's going to be you and your devices. You wanting to be part of this world, okay? It's going to lead you to taking that microchip, all right? So we telling you, you have to do things decently and in order. And the first thing you should be doing is seeking the kingdom of the Most High. Finding out about this truth, okay? And what's coming. Because along with this truth, it prophesies the downfall of this man's kingdom. And by this man, we're talking about the so-called white man, Esau. Okay? But you don't even know who your enemy is. So how can you know not to trust him if you don't know who your enemy is? If he's pushing this Jesus loves everybody, then under that guideline and banner, you're going to take that microchip. Because why would Jesus hurt you? He would want you to be fed. So come on and take this microchip. See? But that's why Ecclesiasticus 12:10 comes into play. Never trust thy enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. As sure as iron rusteth, so is this man wickedness, okay? And that's why we're here telling our people, man, get right, all right? Get this wine, get this oil. Make sure you got your lamps trimmed. Going into Jacob's trouble, you don't want to be half-stepping, man. All right? It ain't going to be no time and place for you to be half-stepping, man. You're going to have all type of oppositions coming at you, man. And we're going to get a little bit of it. All right? You're going to have that army coming after you, man. And see, back in the days, Jake would have to run from hound dogs. Them low-level Edomites here in the south, they'll give the hound dogs your scent, and then they'll what? They'll send them on their way and say, let's go have a good old hunting, boys. And then they'll go hunt Jake, man. But see, this time, it's going to be much worse than that. They got drones that can sky and read your body temperatures from the air. They got robot dogs that they can attach a flamethrower to. You see? And you talking about going off the grid. Hey man, unless Yahweh is with you, it's gonna be for nothing, man. You're gonna get found out. All right? So here it is, we telling our people to get right, man, but you want to go out and party. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but you gotta do everything in order, man. All right? First, you gotta seek the Most High. All right? And then you'll see, partying ain't all what it's cracked up to be when you at the doorstep of prophecy being fulfilled, man. You want to get your ass right. Okay? Going out having a good time, drinking, and everything else, that's going along with the house of mirth. All right? We want to be in the house of mourning, man. All right? We not in the house of mirth, man. Because that house of mirth is going to get you taken out, man. That happy, go, jolly spirit going to get you taken out. Because you ain't going to see it coming. See, if the brothers go out, have a drink, which, you know, for the most part, they ain't gonna get drunk like that. They gonna drink at home if they want to drink, all right? Because it's a certain way we gotta carry ourselves in this truth, man, when we out and about. Getting pissy drunk ain't one of the ways we carry ourselves. Because they looking for any and everything to when they demonize this truth that they could bring up on brothers, man. Oh yeah, he was out at TGI Fridays causing a ruckus because he was drunk. And they got footage of you slapping the waitress because she didn't bring you your order, man. No, we already got the persecution that's going to come, but we're going to be persecuted for righteousness' sake, all right? Here it is. I did a lesson earlier this week where this guy by the name of Kilmar Garcia, you know, he was allegedly deported for being brought up on charges of being related to criminal organizations, particularly the MS-13, which is a Latin so-called Latin gang, you know. So they deported him, but they saying that on the other hand, he was supposed to be here in America. And Trump ain't looking to bring him back anytime soon. You see, but when we get persecuted, it's gonna be for righteousness' sake. See, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the devil, he gonna have to bring up charges that he found years before we came into this truth. That's how this devil operate, man. Or through his AI, he got deep fake where he can fake something that we did when we didn't do, man. But we understand when persecution comes, Blessed is those that are persecuted for righteousness' sake. All right? Theirs is the kingdom, man. All right? See, we getting persecuted for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's sake, man. And what not a greater thing to be persecuted for. All right? They came up with trumped up lies on Yahweh Shai, saying that he said he was going to tear down the temple in 3 days and build it back up. When he wasn't talking about a physical temple, he was talking about what? The spiritual temple. All right? Which is what? This body, man. All right? That when he would leave this earth in 3 days, which we in that third day right now, he will raise it up, which is what you're seeing now. All right, you're seeing the house of David being raised up, man, that third temple. All right? See, you got those small hatters over there, those 1948s, that's thinking it's a literal temple, which is why they not the people of the Bible, man. All right? They don't fit none of the prophecies. But to the lame, they think they the people of the Bible, man. Okay? So just as they came up with trumped up charges against Yahweh Shai and wrongfully persecuted him, they gonna do it to us. What did Yahweh Shai say? If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. So guess what? It's coming, man. All right? And don't be surprised. It may be some of your own family relatives. Some of those that are closer to you. They may be the ones that turn you in and give up information about you willingly or unwillingly. Okay? So we prepare for everything, man. Okay? By now, nothing is going to take us by surprise, man. All right? There's nothing that's going to catch us off guard, man. We see it coming through what? Through this truth. Because why? We've been given that oil and wine, man. All right? So we see everything, man. We're not worried about the persecution. We're just worried about being persecuted for righteousness' sake. All right? We don't want to be out here doing something dumb and stupid and then get persecuted. No, man. We don't want to get the ministry blamed, man. All right? So it says what? It says, seek ye. Let's go back. But here it is, St. Mark 6:33. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Then, if you feel like you can go out and have a dinner, at a restaurant or whatever. All right? But do things in order, man. Okay? Do things in order, man. It ain't all about putting yourself first, man. And see, that's what this society promotes. That self-will demon, man. I can do it by myself. I can do it, I'm a self-made millionaire. I'm a self-made this. You see? That same type of thinking process is going to get you caught up, man. Because you don't want to give the Most High his glory, his just due. All right? So now going back to Ezekiel 9 and verse 5, it reads, and to the others he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Right. Those that don't have the wine and oil, they're no good to the Most High. All right. Those of our people that don't have this oil and wine, they're not good to the Most High. They don't serve a purpose, man. All right, until they come back into the kingdom. But on this side, they got to get destroyed, man. Because why? They mock, they turn their nose up at the truth, and they just reprobates, castaways. So what purpose can the Most High use somebody like that for? Nothing. So guess what? He gave the decree to the angel to what? Do away with them, man. Let's read it again. Ezekiel 9 and 5. And to the others, that's the 2/3 of our people, he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. And when he says neither have you pity, he means it. Okay? He ain't saying it just because it's a beautiful woman and she got the most voluptuous curves, spare her. No. It ain't saying because he a well put together brother and a CEO, spare him. No, he ain't saying because he's up in age and he's almost out of here, spare him. No, he ain't saying because it's a baby or a little child, spare him or her. No, he's saying smite them all. All right. That's what we're here to tell you, man. The Most High is not one to be played around with. If you don't got that oil and wine, you're going to be smite, stricken, hit, taken out, unalive. It says verse 6, Ezekiel 9 and 6, slay. See? Slay, meaning what? Put down, unalive, utterly, old and young. There's no respect of person, as it says in Romans 2 and 11. With the Most High, there's no respect of person, man. All right? You got all the time now to get right, okay? Don't wait till all hell breaks loose to then try to seek Yahweh. No, seek him now while he may be found. Through what? His servants, his prophets, the ones that are out prophesying, which are his mouthpiece. Seek him. All right? Find him while he may be found, because once the famine of the word hit, he's going to remove his word from off the streets and off the internet to an extent. You may have those out there that's similar to preaching the truth, but guess what? They don't have the oil and wine. Okay? They ain't going to give you the names of the Father and the only begotten Son. They ain't going to tell you what's to come. Why? Because they're hirelings. They've been hired to deceive you. They'll give you pieces of the truth mixed with their own ideologies and doctrines. They'll tell you you're an Israelite, but then they'll tell you that the Savior name is Jesus. What good is it to know that you're an Israelite if you don't have the name of the Savior to call on, man? All right? That's part of knowing you're an Israelite, is having the names again. All right? Otherwise, you might as well be in the world, man. Calling on sweet Jesus. And my God. His name ain't Jehovah. His name ain't Jehovah. His name ain't Yahweh. His name ain't Ashaya. His name is Yahweh. And his only begotten son name is Yahweh Shai. Not Jesus, not Christ, which that's a title, not Yeshua. No. His name is Yahweh Shai in the Paleo Hebrew. All right? But this is the oil and wine you're going to be left to have when the real oil and wine is removed from off the streets and the internet. Okay? This is what you're going to be left to. All right? And it ain't going to get the job done. It won't get the job done. Okay? So it says, Ezekiel 9 and 6, slay utterly, old and young, both maids and little children, and women too. See there? But, there's a but. Come not near any man, okay? And if you under that tutelage of that man, which is an elect man, you won't be touched too if you following after what he tells you, okay? If you following after that man's directions, you won't be touched too because you're under his household. So when it says touch not that man, that goes for his children, his wife, you know, his and everyone else that's up under his household, okay? It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark. Now this mark isn't the same mark in Revelation 13:16. This mark in Ezekiel 9 is a spiritual mark. The mark in Revelation 13 is a physical mark. All right? This spiritual mark that you have is going to be represented by what? That oil and wine. All right? Because if you have that oil and wine, you're going to be sighing and crying for all the abominations of this world, man. Because you see the type of conditions that we living in. And knowing the reasons why that we living in these conditions is going to what? Have you sighing and crying, man. Which is why we out here crying to our people. Isaiah 58:1. Cry out loud and show my people their transgressions. All right? We out here telling our people, man. Hey, stop calling on the name of Jesus. Stop celebrating these holidays. Stop celebrating your birthday. Stop eating these abominable foods. Stop sleeping with, other people's spouses. And get right, man, before it's too late. All right? See? We sounded the trumpet, man. We blowing the trumpet, letting the people know. Hey, there's a storm coming, brewing. All right? And no man is safe. All right? If you don't have this truth, which it goes into Proverbs 18 and 10, Yahweh is a strong tower. Hey, you ain't gonna be hid from the storm, which is those missiles. So we telling our people, get right, man. Get right while you still got a chance. All right? Get this oil and wine inside of you. All right? Get your mind renewed. You got to put this oil and wine inside a new bottle. You can't have it in that same 2/3 Jake mentality mind that you had in the world, man. That's what got you in the predicament that you in now. You have to have a renewing of the mind. All right? As it says in, what's that? Romans 12. Be renewed. Be transformed. I believe that's Romans 12 and 1. So it says, Ezekiel 9 and 6, the second part of that. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient man which were before the house. Right. So those that know who they are, but yet still wanted to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's what judgment is going to be. That's what judgment is going to begin at. All right. That's why you had that leader of the Sakari group, went by the name of Chief Priest. He got exposed, man. His wife came out and said that they were into some freaky things, man. See, the Most High is going to expose these members that's feeding the flock and doing the flock dirty behind closed doors, man. Because here it is, this man presumably, had a vast knowledge of this truth, man. Could go into scriptures, can go into history and break down things like you wouldn't believe it. But what? He wasn't right, okay? He wasn't right, all right? And the Most High exposed him, man, okay? Well, guess what? In these last days, a lot more going to get exposed. To those that don't truly believe and have that oil and wine, they're going to be exposed too, okay? That was just the prelude, okay? He's going to do a lot more cleaning, man, all right? So guess what? Get right, man. Get that oil and wine while you still can, okay? Because what? Having that oil and wine is going to be what gets you from being exempt from judgment, and ultimately is whether or not you preordained from the beginning, whether you are the elect, because only the elect is going to have the oil and wine. All right? So it all goes back to whether you were predestined to be delivered from the beginning, from the foundations, part of the first fruits. Okay? So it says, then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. So that's where they began at. Okay? Those that know that they Israelites. Those that been preaching and doing things contrary to what the word says, they're going to be exposed and they're going to be taken out, man. All right? The Most High knows, man. See, you can fool man, but you can't fool the Most High. He's the one that put the thoughts in your head, man. He knows your heart. He knows that it's deceitful above all, man. What's that, Jeremiah 17? The heart is deceitful above all things. Who can know it? I, Yahweh, search the reins. So only Yahweh knows what's really going on in your heart, man. Whether or not you believe, or you just using this truth as a crutch to get money out of the people, man. All right? So he'll put spirits on individuals to expose you. He'll even put the spirit on you to expose yourself, man. All right? That's why it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the true and living power. All right? So let's go to let's go to 1 John 2. This is the book of 1 John. chapter 2, and let's read verse 20. Okay? It says, but ye have an unction. When you go into that word unction, it means a smearing or oil or ointment. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. See? That's what coming along with having this oil and wine is ye know all things. Okay? You knowing that the end is near. You knowing that Yahushua is on his way back. It says all throughout the scriptures, he's coming like a thief in the night. All right? For those that don't have that unction. Okay? That oil. All right? From the Holy One. They don't know, man. They in the dark. All right? Not knowing that what? Judgment is right around the corner. Okay? They don't have that unction, that smearing, that oil to know all things. Okay? Because why? When they was given the chance, they turned their nose up at it. When they was given the chance to receive this oil and this wine, they turned their nose up at it. They had better things to do on a Saturday. Okay? They had better things to do than to study to show themselves approved. So guess what? They're not going to have that unction, that smearing, that oil. All right? They're going to be one of the ones that's marked to be what? Given that charagma and to be what? Taken out by the angels, man. Or also by the what? The thermonuclear missiles. Okay? So it says, 1 John 2 and 20, but ye have an unction from the Holy One, and ye know all things. See? So we got everything we need to know for salvation, man. We got the names of the Father and the Son. We got the wine, which represented by this understanding, this knowledge, this truth. We got our enemies. We've been shown who our enemies is, not to trust them. You know, under no circumstances are we to trust our enemy, because we understand at the end what his end game is. Okay, we know with the microchip, we know what the mark is, which is the microchip, the charagma. Not to take it, because if we take it, we're going to have to drink of that cup of indignation that's poured out, okay? We're going to have to share the same judgment along with these other heathens if we take that microchip, man. We know that Jacob's trouble is going to be like a time that's never been before, where they're going to come with all type of new gadgets. There's this robot out right now, I believe it's called Unitree 1 or something along that line, that this damn robot could run like a real human being, man. He can do flips. I kid you not. They even programmed him to mimic this kung fu person, and he did all the type of kung fu moves, man. Fluently, I mean, he didn't miss a beat. He kicked, he put his hand up like that. Man, if they put some human flesh on him, you would think that was a human being, man. The walk was fluent. The movement was fluent. But it was a robot. And I believe they going for like 20 to 70,000. So if they got that type of technology that they willing to share to the public, you can only imagine the technology that they have behind closed doors. All right? You can only imagine what this army, this troop is going to come out with. If they got this type of technology that they're willing to share to the public, you can only imagine what they have behind closed doors. Grade A material. And they know, see? Esau knows what's coming, man. He knows he's going to be met with an unstoppable force. See? To a certain extent, Esau knows the prophecies too, man. All right, because you got to remember, he's the closest thing we got, man. You know, that was our paternal brother, man. Okay, so he knows a little bit. All right, he knows Yahushua is coming back. He knows that the men of the Lord are going to be endowed with spiritual powers. So guess what? he's tapping into his blessings, that sword. Okay? He's tapping into his blessing that he was given by our forefather Isaac. Okay? Because Isaac blessed both Esau and Jacob. Okay? Esau's blessing was what? That sword, man. And he ain't gonna be afraid to use it either. All right? He's amping up right now. Like I said, he got robots that can run fluently. I mean, run and then come to a stop. No herking, jerking like that. No, it's fluent. Could do cartwheels. Could do breakdance moves. I said, damn. All you gotta do is give this damn robot a basketball or a football and Jake through, man. Jake through. You can put this damn robot with some gloves on, he can box, man. Jake, Esau through with you, man. He don't need you no more for a minstrel, for entertainment. Just slap some human flesh on a robot, give him a football or a basketball or put some boxing gloves on him, and the people gonna be entertained, man. That's why there's not gonna be any job safe when this new technology comes out. All right? So it's here, man. All right? It's here. Okay? Just a matter of time. So you gotta have that unction to know this. Okay? That's what coming in, that's where this truth comes in. All right? Having that oil and wine. Okay? Being what? Being able to see things before they come to pass, man. All right? So if you don't have that unction, you ain't gonna have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you're gonna need to know that this man is getting ready to come down with great wrath. All right? Revelation 12:12. He knows he has but a short time. All right? So guess what? He ain't playing, man. He coming all out. This is his last hoorah. The shit that he's getting ready to bring out is gonna be like never a time that's been seen before. Jacob's trouble, man. But ye should be delivered out of it. Speaking of what? The elect, man. The elect shall be delivered out of it. All right? So he's coming with it, man. All right? Trust and believe he's coming with it. Okay? And if you don't have that unction, if you don't have that oil and wine, you're going to be given over to this man. All right? That's why in Psalms 51 it says what? Cast not thy presence from thee, and take not thy Holy Spirit, man. If the Most High takes his oil and wine from you, you're through. Okay, you're finished. Ain't nothing else nobody can do for you. All right? There's nothing else nobody can do for you if the Most High doesn't give you this oil and wine. All right? You're finished, man. Which signals in that what? You're not part of the elect, man. That's why the lesson is hurt not thy oil and wine. The Most High has preserved this word for a reason, man. To wake up the elect in the end. And you seeing it now. Okay? You seeing the elect being awoken, okay, to who they are. All right? And guess what? This devil hating it, man. Because his plans can't be fully fulfilled because why? We exposing them. But little do he know, it's only so far that he can get, man. He has a bound that he can't cross. All right? There's a bound that the Most High has set for this devil to not step across, man. So he was only going to get so far anyways. All right? But the Most High is going to put that spirit on him to come down with great wrath, man. So guess what? You better get that oil and wine, man. Matter of fact, let's go there to those 5 foolish and those 5 wise virgins. This is the book of Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1. It reads, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. Okay? It says what? Which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. So we all are in one way or another preparing to meet the bridegroom. Okay? Whether we're going to meet the bridegroom to be delivered or whether we're going to meet the bridegroom to be destroyed. We all preparing to meet the bridegroom one way or another. We just don't know it. Okay? We just don't know it. All right? Verse 2, St. Matthew 25:2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. All right? The 5 that were wise represents what? The elect. The 1/3, the innumerable number. The 5 of them that were foolish represents who? The 2/3 of our people. The ones that don't have the oil. The ones that don't trim their lamps, man. Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. You see? So they took their lamps, you know, but they didn't have no oil. They knew that they was Israelites, but that's about as far as it went. Knowing that they Israelites. That's it. Okay? But they didn't take no oil with them to do it. They didn't take no oil with them so that they could do something with knowing that they are Israelites. So that's about as far as it went for them. Oh yeah, I know I'm an Israelite. They may even know they from the tribe of such and such. That's about where the rubber meets the road. That's about where it ends at for them. Yeah, I know. I heard about the Israelites. I heard about the Hebrew Israelites. That's it. That's about as far as it goes for them. All right? They ain't got no oil or no wine. It says, verse 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Right. So the wise, which is represented by the elect, the innumerable number, the 1/3, they knew that they were Israelites. They went and dove deep into seeking out the Most High. Okay? While he may be found. They found out who the enemy is. They found out, you know, while we're here in this predicament, they found out everything that they needed to know for salvation, the names of the Father and the only begotten Son. Okay? They found out everything. They had the oil with the wine. That's why it says, hurt not thy oil in wine. Those that were preserved, man, to receive this knowledge. Don't hurt them, man. They are valuable to me. Those are going to be the ones that we put into position to govern the earth under Yahushua, the 144,000 and the innumerable multitude. All right? Don't hurt them. They got valuable, precious oil and wine in them. All right? Don't hurt them. Okay? The other ones, man, you can do whatever with them. You can, hey, matter of fact, slay all them. They don't serve no purpose, man. They don't got anything that's usable that they can use, that the Most High and His Son can use, man. What purpose do you serve? All right? You will be, since you are an Israelite, you will come back into the kingdom through the loins of the elect. But on this side, you got to be destroyed, man. That's just the matter of things. All right? You got to be destroyed on this side, man. You don't have that precious ointment, that unction. You don't have that oil, that wine. So there's nothing that's preserving you for the use of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, other than to be what? Utterly destroyed, man. Okay? So it says, verse 4, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. So you see, the wise took the oil. All right, they ran with it. Okay, they didn't just, find out that they were Israelite and that was it. No, they went further and dove deeper into it, and the Spirit started to sup with them, and now they got the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that's going to keep them stable in the times that's coming. Okay, it says, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. All right, so they took that oil, man. All right, they took that unction. Okay, They got the ointment, they got the oil, they got the wine, they got the truth, man. Okay? Now the Most High can preserve them. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 33 and 6. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 33, and verse 6. It reads, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation." Right, so this wisdom, this knowledge that we get from reading this Holy Bible, that's going to be the strength and salvation of what? Of thy times. This is that oil and that wine, man. That's going to keep the brothers, sane. When everybody else is flipping out, this is what's going to keep us sane, man. Having the oil and wine, all right? Having that oil and wine. It says, what else? It says, the fear of Yahweh is his treasure, okay? This is why we're propelled to come out here and do this, because the fear of Yahweh is his treasure. Meaning what? You fear Yahweh and do the work and do what's required and ask of you. That's his treasure. He's going to take care of you. He's going to show you mercy in the time of Jacob's trouble. All right? What's that? Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept my word in patience, I will also keep thee in the hour of temptation. Okay? That's coming to try the whole world, man. The whole earth. All right? And if you don't have that oil and wine, speaking primarily here in Babylon the Great, America, you're going to be destroyed, man. All right? There's no other way around it. All right? If you don't have the oil and wine here in Babylon, which is America, you're going to be destroyed, man. There's nothing the Most High can use for you. Use of you. All right? Let's get that in Isaiah 65. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 65. The book of Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 8. It reads, "Thus saith Yahweh, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not." That new wine is found in the cluster, and one says, destroy it not. It says what else? For a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servants' sakes, that I may not destroy them all. Right, we that cluster, okay, that was found in it. That one says, destroy it not. That was Yahushua saying what? Destroy it not. Okay? What did Israel always had someone on their behalf to tell the Most High, destroy it not. From Moses, Noah, all the prophets were acting on the behalf of Israel for the Most High to not destroy them. Now Yahushua was the one that was presented in this last sacrifice as the ultimate sacrifice to what? Say, destroy it not. So now through Yahushua, all of Israel shall be saved. Okay? But not on this side, in the kingdom, all right? But right now, Yahushua is advocating for the elect to the Most High that he what? Destroy it not. That cluster of wine, all right? One more time, Isaiah 65 and 8. Thus saith Yahweh, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroy it not, for a blessing is in it. You see? There's a blessing in this that we're doing. If we are the elect, we're going to receive what? salvation. While the 2/3 are going to receive what? Destruction. So there's a blessing into what we're doing, man. All right, we're not just out here for our own, good. No, we're out here to receive that mercy, that blessing. All right? When all hell breaks loose, we're going to receive that blessing, that mercy. It says, for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servants' sakes, that I may not destroy them all. Right? You see? Jacob is Yahweh's servant. All right? And he's not going to destroy all of Jacob or Yasharallah. He's going to preserve that remnant. All right? That small remnant. Okay? He's going to preserve them. All right? So that they what? They won't be destroyed, because why? They have the oil and wine within them. Okay? The Most High doesn't want to destroy his oil and wine. That's why Yahweh says, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit into the kingdom, man. All right? See? Yahweh hey, man, he's coming back to get his wine, man. Right? He ain't gonna drink of it into the kingdom. Okay? When we get delivered up out of this hellhole, man. All right? So we wait, man, patiently. All right? Let's go to 65. We here in Isaiah 65. Let's just go to verse 13. To show you that he's not going to destroy that cluster of wine. He's going to what? Take care of it. This is Isaiah 65 and 13. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Almighty. Isaiah 65 and 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Almighty, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. See? Those that have the oil and wine got to be preserved. So guess what? Whatever those that have the oil and wine need, the Most High is going to make sure they take it care of. All right? Whether it's food, whether it's something to drink, whether it's somewhere to sleep, whatever it is, whatever servant that has the oil and wine, the Most High will preserve that servant for his sake. Okay? Because he has that precious ointment, that unction. It says, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. See? The service is going to be preserved and to be well taken care of. Why? Because they have that unction. They have that oil and wine. All right? What else does it say? It says, behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. See, you're going to be those five foolish virgins that don't have oil, man. You're going to be ashamed in that time. All right? But see, those of us that have the oil and wine that endure, we're going to be rejoicing. Because why? We're going to have the oil. All right? We're going to have the oil and wine to be preserved to what? Not have to go through the harsh judgments that the other 2/3 of our people are going to go through. All right? That's why we're going to be rejoicing all the way up until when we get beamed up, man. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. The water Yahweh. The water. Thank you, Yahweh. We're going to be rejoicing, man. Just getting by the skin of our teeth. All right? Here it is. We was finna get, taken out by the troops. And the Most High gave the brother to mount up with wings and fly and take off and escape. Here it is, the troops. They don't find out where you work at. And they don't put a perimeter around the place to corner you in. And the Most High then endowed you with spiritual powers and then gave you the ability to what? Mount up with wings and fly, man. To escape, to literally fly. You're going to be thanking the Most High. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah for getting me out of that predicament. Why? Because you got the oil and wine, and the Most High wants to preserve the oil and wine. So by process of elimination, if you have the oil and wine, the Most High wants to preserve you. Okay? So that's why we got to pray that we of that number, man. All right? We have to pray that we of that number that has the oil and the wine. All right? This is Matthew 26. This is the book of Matthew chapter 26 and verse 29, okay? This is Yahweh Shai speaking, red letters. It reads, "But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." So we wait on Yahweh Shai, man, okay? We wait on Yahweh Shai. All right, he's coming back to drink this wine, this truth with us, man, to deliver us out of these mortal bodies into what? Immortal bodies. All right, when we're made immortals forever. All right, when we then have the wine and oil in us forever, we don't have to worry about going on. All right, when we've programmed and we had the new covenant programmed inside our hearts, our minds, when we beamed up into the chariots and changed in the twinkling of an eye, we're going to be drinking wine, man. We're going to have the whole truth then. That's why Yahweh Shah says, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit. Until what? But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine. That's that wine. Until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. That's us having a new covenant, man. All right? Sharing all the promises that the Father was going to give to Yahweh Shai, he's going to share it with us, man. The new bodies, the immortality, having slaves, having galaxies, having, you know, as it says in John 14:2, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. He's preparing that place for us, man. Right now, as we doing the work here on earth, he's preparing that place for us. In the spiritual world, that's what he's doing. He's getting that specific place for that brother, because every brother, he knows what they like. And he's getting that ready for that brother. When we get coordinated in the crowning, and we get the crown put onto our heads for a job well done, and we drink of that wine with Yahweh Shai, he's already got the place squared away for us at that time. When you get, if we are blessed enough to be beamed up into the chariots and get coordinated and get that crown put on our head, that means that what? Yahweh Shai has prepared that place for us. He's prepared that place for us on the day. Salaki. He's prepared that place for us on the chariot, man. Oh yeah, that brother right there. Oh yeah, okay. A chariot gonna pick him up right before destruction comes. Let's read that again. Matthew 26:29. It says, "But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." Right? There's going to be chariots in the kingdom, man. All right? Better believe it. A heavy presence of them. See, you may see a chariot here and there, but in the kingdom, it's going to be a heavy presence of them, man. All right? That's going to be the vessel of how the brothers, you know, travel inner galaxies from one galaxy to another, man. It's going to be far out, man. And Yahweh Shai is preparing that for us right now. Yeah, that brother like this right here, he already know what we like, man. He gonna show us things that we didn't even know that we like because we ain't privy to know everything. He may show us a chariot that's, man, wait, like, how you know I like that, Yahweh? He knows it, man. That's what he doing right now. He ain't just he see us suffering, but also he's preparing that space for us. When you get that chariot and you come into that chariot, you're gonna be like, wow, it's far out, man. And you're gonna be at one with it, man. You see? You're gonna be at one with that chariot. That's gonna be customized just for you. All right? See, Esau, he wanna have a form of godliness. Oh yeah, you 7 feet 2. Oh, I could stretch out this cart and make it right for you. Oh yeah, you 7'10". Yeah, I could. No, we don't want that shit, Esau, man. See, these chariots gonna be customized for the elect, man. You don't know who the elect is in the kingdom, man. All right? You don't know who the elect is in the kingdom, okay? It's gonna be evident, man. All right? And the rest of the Israelites, you know, they gonna have it too, but they ain't gonna be on the level as the elect, man. But compared to the other nations, they gonna be on that level too, man. All right? They gonna be on that level too. See, these other nations, man, they going into slavery for the first 1,000 years. All right? And then after that 1,000 years, they're gonna be able to go back and keep the laws, statutes, commandments, you know, to the best of their abilities. And if not, we're gonna be right on their ass to judge them. Okay? But as far as the Edomites, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, after his 1,000 years are up, he's gonna be done away with, man. Burned up. Never to be heard from or seen from again, man. Obadiah 1:18. All right? So guess what? Yahweh Shah is preparing that place for us, man. All right? And it's gonna be far out, man. When we get these new bodies, we get to travel inner and out of the galaxy. That's what Esau wants, man. See, he dreams of having that type of technology. That's why now he's talking about, oh, he could time travel. Man, don't trust nothing this damn devil says, man. Oh, we got the ability to bend space and travel back in time. You wish you had that type of technology, because then you could go back and what? Take the blessing from Jacob and give it to Esau. Why do the heathen imagine vain things, man? That's something vain. Esau wants to time travel. So it's asking, go back in time to stop the blessing, and he wouldn't be able to go into slavery. Nah, you can't go back in time, Esau. You can't bend space. You ain't never been out of the Van Halen belt, the upper atmosphere. You ain't never been out of there, man. So sell that to someone that don't know anything. Sell that to the 5 foolish virgins. But the 5 wise virgins, we ain't buying that. We know you can't bend space, man. See? It's a level of understanding that you have when you come into this truth, man. Okay? And knowing that he wants to search the outer heavens and the depths of the sea so that he can say, see, Yahweh, I searched the depths of the sea and the outermost parts of the heaven. Now you said you would destroy Israel. See, Esau, he's a slick ass MFer, man. You know, we see right through it though, man. We see right through it. Why? Because we have that oil and wine, that unction, okay? To know all things. We know this man can't go to outer space and bend space to what? Go back in time. Man, that's a vain thing, man. Your ass going into slavery along with the other nations too, man. Along with the other 16 nations, Esau, Edom is going into slavery. You could pitch that nonsense, that science crap to everybody else, but you ain't gonna pitch that to the elect, man. Oh, we can bend space to go back in time. Yeah. If we believe that, then we'll believe that you can go back 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago and try to get your birthright back. No, we seeing right through it, man, and we exposing it. You ain't bending no space, and you ain't going back in time. Not even for a second. Okay? Not even for a nanosecond. You can't go back in time. All right? And we ain't buying it, man. We on to you. Why? Because we got the oil and wine, man. Hurt not the oil in the wine. If you had that type of technology, you would destroy this Bible. Okay? You would destroy us ever being able to wake up to who we are. If you had that technology, Esau. That's why we know you don't have it. Okay? And we ain't even gonna have to call you out because we know you don't have it, man. Get your New World Order in play and get ready to bring it out, man. Okay? That's your best move, man. Getting the last bits of your New World Order put into place so that you can get ready to bring out this microchip and get judged, man. Okay? That's your destiny, man. Don't try to sit here and feed us lies, man. Oh, we walked on the moon. You ain't been to the moon, man. Never. We got what you call that? We got a robot that's on Mars. You ain't never been to Mars, man. Quit all the capping, man. You probably the biggest troller of history, man. I may do a lesson on that. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is the biggest troll known to mankind in history, man. You ain't nothing but a troll, man. Just capping. Full of lies, man. Damn, you can bend space to go back in time. That's the biggest troll and cap ever, man. Damn, boy, you just can't take your ass whooping like a man. You gotta make something up. Even in your last quote unquote hurrah, you gotta make something up to make yourself look better than what you are, man. Just take this ass whooping like a man and get ready to go into slavery, man, and be destroyed. Stop trying to tell the people these lies, man. You can bend space. Therefore, you can go back in time. Therefore, you can destroy this oil and wine. Nah, it ain't happening, Esau. Try again. Okay? Try again. And I know you didn't want me to get the internet on my phone, okay? But Yahweh told me to bring another phone just in case, okay? So we recorded on another phone. We ain't live per se, meaning that it's being brought out to the people right now, but I am live, okay? I am live, meaning what? That, you know, we out here and about, man, okay? And it will be loaded up later on in the Lord's will, all right? So whatever you want to do, Esau, you want to, shut down the internet where I can't get on and go live, do it. As long as I can put this up for the people to consume at a later time, hey, all praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, man. You can't hurt the oil and wine, man. You can't hurt this truth, man, because you got brothers that's out going live right now, all right? That's going live, okay? There's nothing you can do, man. This truth is out, all right? There's nothing you can do right now, all right? This truth is out and you're being exposed, okay? You're being exposed, man. So get ready for slavery, man, all right? We're going to drink of the wine with Yahweh Shah, and part of that wine is knowing that we're going to have slaves in the kingdom, all right? That's part of drinking of the wine, man. As it says in John 15 in verse 1, is it? This is John 15 and 1. It reads, this is Yahweh Shah speaking. It says, I am the true wine. Salakia. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. See? That's why hurt not the oil and wine, okay? Because that oil and wine is going to be profitable to the Most High, because it's going to bring forth more oil and wine. My cup overfloweth, all right? My cup overfloweth. You see? That's why Esau hates this truth, man. Because this cup is overflowing with it. And this devil can't do anything but just shut the internet down, declare martial law, okay, because there's talk that he may incite the Insurrection Act tomorrow. Okay, he got to make a move somehow, some way, all right? And he sees it, man. Okay, my cup overflowing. This truth is overflowing, man, and he can't do anything about it, man. All right, let's read that again. It says, John 15:2, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. Right. So if you ain't coming in the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai and preaching the doctrine, hey, he gonna take that away from you. All right, that's them 5 foolish virgins that didn't have no oil. He took that oil away from them. It says, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that he beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So that fruit, that wine that's bringing in more fruit, he gonna purge it, man. It says, in every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it. So we like into branches, man. If our branches, if we are preaching this word in truth and sincerity, guess what? Oh yeah, I want that cluster of vine. I'm gonna purge that. Okay, so that it could what? Bring forth more fruit. My cup overfloweth. See, this truth is overflowing in these last days, man. And Esau hates that. All right, he hates that. All right, and it's all going down by the way of the internet. Okay, he hates that he ever brought forth this internet. All right, because this internet is shedding light to many things. Yeah, you got people using it for folly and everything else, but also you got people using it to bring out this truth and expose this man. And he hates all that, man. He hates that. He wish he could go back in time to stop the internet. He wished he could be in space to somehow go back in time to disrupt the advent of this internet. But he can't, man. It's already out. You can do as many unforsaken deeds as you want. It ain't going to stop this truth. All right? Blessed is those that are persecuted for righteousness' sake, man. So come on with it, man. All right? We expecting you to come with it. All right? You wouldn't be Esau Edom if you weren't going to come with it. It says, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. This is how you get clean, by this word, man. All right? This is how you get purged. All right? By this word. All right? And then you bring forth more fruit. All right? And it just overflows, man. See? We overflowing this internet with truth right now, man. He don't know it. See? Esau Edom ain't gonna never show you the true numbers that's actually seeing the videos. All right? Well, guess what? We don't care about numbers. We doing this work because we were commanded to. Whether we get 0 or whether we get 1 million likes, views, whatever, we gonna do this work, man, as if we got 1 million likes, okay? When we got 0 likes or views, we doing this work as if we got 1 million likes and views. You can't stop it, devil. All right? You can't stop it, man. As it says in Acts 5 and what is that? Acts 5 and 36. If this counsel be of man, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, there's nothing you can do lest you be found to fight against the Most High. Roughly paraphrasing. This is Acts 5 and verse 39. It says 38, Acts 5 and 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of man, it will come to naught. So if what we were doing was of man, if we were set up by man, then yeah, what Esau saying and has done will have validity behind it. That's why he was able to dismantle the Black Panthers. That's why he was able to dismantle and take away every other, organization / movement that was set up by, so-called quote unquote black people. Okay? Because it's set up by man. All right? So it says, Acts 5:38, for if this counsel or work be of man, it will come to naught, meaning nothing. But what we're doing right now isn't of man. That's why you can't come up against it. Okay? 38, Acts 5:39. But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against the Most High. And that's a battle you ain't gonna win. All right? That's a battle that you ain't gonna win. 100 out of 100 times you're gonna lose. If you going against the Most High, you're gonna lose, man. All right? And this work is of the Most High. Okay? That's why we know you got to come with it. All right? If this work be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it, lest happily you be found to fight against the Most High. And Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is just that proud to go up against the Most High, which is why he gonna get his ass mollywopped when Yahushua comes back. When Yahushua comes back, he's gonna mop the floor with Esau Edom, along with the other nations too, man. All right? So guess what? Hey, we ain't worrying about it, man. Okay? We know you're not going back in time. We know you wish you could go back in time. But we ain't worried about it because we know why. This work is of the Most High, and you cannot overthrow it, lest happily you be found to fight against the Most High. Okay? So we know what's the end game. All right? And that's your ass getting taken into slavery and being destroyed. All right? And we're close to that time, man. All right? We're very close. Okay? So let's go to let's go to Romans. Romans 11, and let's start at the top. This is Romans 11 and 1. See that remnant, that cluster, that's going to be preserved, man. It's already been predestined from the beginning. This is Romans 11 and 1. It reads, I say then, have the Most High cast away his people? See, that's what the Christian church will allow you to believe. That now everybody can be saved. There's neither Jew nor Greek. Somehow the Israelites are no more here. Jesus came and opened up salvation for everybody. Now we tearing down those strongholds, man. Those stumbling blocks. Jesus, whose name is Yahushua in the Paleo-Hebrew, didn't come for everybody. He only came for the Israelites, and they still here, man. They just didn't know who they were. But now they're waking up to who they are in these last days, and it's causing problems for this devil. It says, I say then, have the Most High cast away his people? For Most High forbid, meaning no, he didn't cast away his people. For I also am an Israelite. This is Paul, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. You see? So Paul telling you, man, I'm from Israel, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. Okay? So he knows it. All right? Verse 2, the Most High have not cast away his people, which he foreknew. This is giving you more insight. The Most High has not cast away his people, which he foreknew, meaning that he had to know them beforehand. They just lost their identity because why? They were given over to these other idols and these other religions, and they started to take these ways of these other people, and they lost their identity. Through what? Different captivities. Okay? But what? Through Yahweh's sacrifice that he made, it gave them a way back to the Father. Okay? So the Israelites are still here. They're just in a deep sleep. You see, and this truth is the only thing that can wake them up. And by them, I mean the elect out of Israel. Okay? Because not all of Israel is going to receive this word and wake up to, salvation in time. So it says, Romans 11:2, the Most High have not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not, what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, verse 3, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thy altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. So Elias, or I believe that's Isaiah, told the Lord that they've dug down, that they what? That they, it says, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thy altars. So Elias or Isaiah, I believe it might be Elijah, told the Lord that they have dug down the altars and killed the prophets, and I am left alone. Okay? But what did the Lord tell him? He said what? Verse 4. But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men. That number 7 just goes into completion. So he told him, I have reserved to myself 7,000 men. Who are those men? Those that have the oil and wine. Okay? Those that have the oil and wine. All right? He has preserved them. What says the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. You see? So yeah, you may feel like at times you're the only one out here doing it. Especially during Jacob's trouble, you may feel like you're by yourself, but you got to know that the Most High has reserved 7,000 men, a completion of men that ain't gonna bow the knee to Baal and take that microchip, man. So everybody gonna have their own walk, man. All right? But just know there's another brother out there that's going through the same thing you going through. All right? And you got to get to the end. You got to get to your lot, man. And the only way you're going to get through it is having the oil and wine, man. Hurt not thy oil and wine. If you got the oil and wine, you good. All right? Because that ultimately means that you were what? Predestined from the beginning. Okay? Verse 5, Romans 11:5. It says, even so then, at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. See? Even to this present time, there's a remnant according to the election of grace. Those of us that are chosen to have this oil and wine, that's going to receive that grace based on election, based on being chosen from the foundation. Hurt not the oil and wine. Okay? So there's a remnant that's going to be reserved for what? The election of grace, man, even to this time. So yeah, you may feel like you're the only one, but guess what? There's 7,000 more just like you. That's out preaching the word, that's doing the work, and that's what? Letting that oil and wine run throughout that bottle, that new bottle, man. Putting that oil and wine into that new bottle. There's 7,000 of you, 7,000 other just like you that's putting that oil and wine in the new bottle, man. Because we put that oil and wine in the new bottle every weekend. Come out and preach the word, man. You got to keep that bottle, you got to keep that lamp trim. You got to keep that oil in that lamp trim, man. You let it get down to the last drop, you risk the chance of not finding that oil, man. That's why we got to be held accountable. Doing the work, coming out on the highway and hedges, making the videos. That's the way of holding ourselves accountable and keeping our lamp trim. Keeping that bottle filled with that new wine, okay? Keeping our lamps trim. All right, we don't want to, let our lamps get low on oil, and then we don't have enough oil. All right, and we become the 5 foolish virgins, asking the 5 wise virgins for wine or for oil, and then they say what? Not so, unless we have not enough for ourselves. Okay, so guess what? You gotta hold yourself accountable, man. You gotta keep your lamps trim. You gotta keep the new bottles filled with the wine, man. All right? You got to. Or else you're gonna find out you don't got enough, man. All right? You don't want to find out that you don't got enough oil and wine to be preserved, to be reserved, man. No. You want your cup to overflow with. You want to have too much oil and wine than not have enough. Okay? So keep your lamps trimmed and keep your bottles filled with that new wine, which is this truth. All right? Which is why we got to hold ourselves accountable. All right? And do the work, man. Okay? Do the work. It's just that simple. All right? Do the work. All right? You find yourself not doing the work, that's you losing that oil and wine, man. And then if the Most High take the Holy Spirit from off you altogether, and now you don't have no oil and wine, you in a worse predicament than what you was when you came into the truth. All right? Because now you're going to have more demons on you now. All right? See, that oil and wine is fighting them demons off. But once that oil and wine is removed from out of you, because you didn't want to do the work, you was found to be slothful and lazy, now the demons gonna come back in, man. Oh yeah. Hey, we's a party now. Yep. That fool ain't got no more oil and wine. It's a party over here. And you're gonna be giving over to that reprobate mind, that castaway mind, man. You see? That's why it's a fight to endure to the end, man. Okay? It's a fight. All right? That's why you have to endure to the end, man. Then you shall be saved. Right? Then you shall be saved. Okay? It's a fight. Right? To keep that oil and wine, man, it's a fight. All right? But guess what? It's well worth the fight. To keep that oil and wine alive. It's well worth the fight. All right? So let's go to Job 5, and let's start at verse 10. This is Job 5 and 10. Going to hurt not the oil and wine, man. This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 10. It reads, "Who giveth rain upon the earth, and sendeth waters upon the fields." 11. "To set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety." Right. You see, those of us that are sighing and crying, those of us that are mourning. Ezekiel 9. Mark those that sigh and cry for the abominations of this wicked place, man. Those of us that are mourning are going to be set up on what? Safety. It says to set up on high Job 5:11, to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. Verse 12, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Right, going into these damn wicked elites, man. He's going to disappoint them. All right? That what? It says he disappoint the devices of the crafty. Hey, man. As it says in Matthew 24, it says, if it had not been for the elect's sake, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right? You wouldn't believe the amount of evil this man would love to do if he had enough time to. That's why he want to go back and bend space, to go back in time, so that he can really get off his wickedness. It ain't good enough that he's already been found out to be wicked. Nah, he want to go back in time so he can do some more wickedness, man. That's this devil, man. He want to go back in time to do more wickedness, to stop this truth, to destroy the oil and wine. You see? It ain't good enough that he's just the wicked. Nah, he want to really go back and be more wicked. All right? Now, I know I covered the faces of the judges thereof and distorted the image of our Lord and Savior, but I want to go back and destroy the Bible now that I know, you know, this is coming to pass right now. Let me go back just a day. This devil feel like if he can go back a second, he can stop this truth, man. Nah, you can't stop this truth, man, because what? If it be of the Most High, hey, if it be of the Most High, it will come to pass, okay? And you're going to be found happily to be what? Fight against the Most High, and that's a fight that you can't win. That was that Acts 5:39, we just read it. If this counsel be of the Most High, it will come to pass. See? Ain't nothing this devil can do, man. All right? You want to go back. You want to play God, you know, but the Most High has given you the Most High has given you just enough to fulfill prophecy, okay? You ain't getting no more or no less. You've been given just enough wickedness to fulfill prophecy, man. So stop imagining vain things. Psalms 2, okay? So it says, Job 5:11, to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. 13, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Right. What's that? Psalms 64. Hide me from the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like swords. Man, these devils, man, if you knew half of the shit they want to do, you would be out here praying to the Most High that he hides you from this wicked counsel, man. Let's see if we can get there. That's Psalm 64:2, if I'm not mistaken. This is Psalm 64 verse 2. It reads, Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Verse 3. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. You see? If you knew what go on behind these secret councils, these what's the word? These think tanks, how they want to project the society to be in 5, 10, 15 years, man, hey, you would really be on your P's and Q's if you knew these things. But the Most High telling us that. Those of us that got the oil and wine, See? This Bible is putting us up on game, man. We know that this man wants to come down with great wrath. All right? And he's going to come down with that great wrath to an extent. All right? But he ain't going to hurt the oil and wine, the elect. It says, verse 12, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. 14, they meet with darkness in the daytime. They somewhere right now, as we speak, underground, planning for the next move, man. They somewhere in a bunker, somewhere in a secret council right now in the middle of day, planning the next move. Should we go ahead and enact that insurrection act tomorrow, so that we could just bring forth the chaos, or should we just continue to let them think that we're gonna see? They somewhere right now planning their next move, man, in broad day. They somewhere in broad day right now, watching the elect videos. Oh yeah, I got dibs on that one right there. Oh yeah, take that image of the background, put it into the computer, and see exactly where he's preaching at. They don't need that much. They don't need that much. That's why they got cameras all the way set up here and microphones. You see? They got cameras and microphones set strategically throughout the earth where they can see exactly what you're saying and hearing, and knowing where you're broadcasting from, whether you live or not. They got the technology to find out where you at. This is what they do. In daytime, they practice darkness. It says, he says, verse 14, Psalm 6, Job 5 and 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime, and grope in the noonday as in the night. Verse 15. But he saveth the poor from the sword. We know, pursuant to, is that Psalm 17 and 13? Deliver me now from thy sword. See if we can get there. The sword is Esau Edom, man. We're gonna need deliverance from this man when he comes down with that great wrath. We're gonna need deliverance from that sword, man. And if we don't have the oil and wine, we're not gonna be exempt from that deliverance. We're not gonna be exempt from that judgment. So this is Psalm 17 and verse 1 second. Deliver me now from thy sword. This is Psalm 17 and verse 13. It reads, arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down. Speaking of Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. You see? So this man's blessing is that sword, man. All right? And he's coming down with it with great wrath, man. All right? And unless you have that oil and wine, you're not going to be exempt from that. Okay? So back to Job 5 and verse 15, it reads, but he saveth the poor from the sword. All right? The poor going into the elect, man. Those are the only ones that's going to take heed to this word in these last days and have that oil and wine so that this devil doesn't, touch them. It says, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. All right? What's that? 2nd Ezra 16, we're going to get that. Abaratasa. All right? So we're going to be as a worm, as it says, Jacob, thy worm, man. We ain't going to have no protection, man. We're going to have to depend on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right? Because that truth, man, that great army is coming with great wrath, man. All right? Ain't nothing we're going to be able to do in these feeble bodies that we can go up against this man and this army. All right? And that sword. All right? Keep playing if you want to. It says, verse 16, so the poor have hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. That's why we happy, man, because he correcting us right now. You see? We don't want to have to get corrected during Jacob's trouble. We rather get corrected right now before Jacob's trouble take off. Because if you have to get corrected during Jacob's trouble, it's more times than likely that you ain't going to make it out of it. And if you make it out of it, you're just going to be destroyed by the chariots, man. So happy is he that the Most High corrected. This correction that we're getting right now pales in comparison to the correction of the 2/3 that they're going to get during Jacob's trouble. Not having nothing to eat, having to eat their own children, having to eat abominable foods like asses' heads and doves' dung. Man, come on, man. We want to be corrected now. That's why we are afflicting ourselves and presenting ourselves as acceptable sacrifices. Okay? We want the Most High to correct us now. Get us right now, Yahweh, so that we be right going into Jacob's trouble, man. So that we have enough oil in wine to go into Jacob's trouble with. All right? Get us right now. How are we praying for? We praying to the Lord that he gets us right now. Correct us. If we going off in doctrine, put it over the man that you put in charge to get us right. To correct that. To make the adjustments. To have the knowledge with. So that we have the right amount of oil and wine to go into Jacob's trouble with. And that we don't run out of oil and wine while we're in Jacob's trouble. Because that's the last thing you want to do is go into Jacob's trouble and have oil and wine, but because you weren't, directed and guided properly, you ran out of the oil and wine in the midst of Jacob's trouble. And now that the oil and wine has been removed from out of you, you're prone and subject to that sword being brought upon you, or famine, or pestilence, or any other type of judgment. Okay? So get us right now is what we're praying for the Lord to do. Get us right now. Correct us now. Okay? Correct us now. Because if he got to correct us during Jacob's trouble, man, it ain't going to be pretty. All right? It ain't going to be pretty. So it says, Job 5 and verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. You see? You may be going through something just to get you right. All right? Here it is. The Most High is chastening you to what? Get you to be better prepared for the hard times that's coming, man. See, you may be going a day here and a day there without food, but guess what? That's to correct you. That's to get you right. Because those that's going to be going without food in Jacob's trouble is going to be those that the Most High isn't dealing with. Okay? Those are going to be the ones that the Most High has put the decree or the order out to not deal with that person. Matter of fact, slay that person. Make that person eat their own children. Okay? We don't want to get right and corrected in Jacob's trouble. We want to get right and corrected now. Okay? Get that oil and wine, man. Get it so that you don't be hurt. Get this truth. It says, But behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Hey, man, don't despise that chastening, man. As it says, who the Most High chastening, he loveth. That's why he deal with every son, accordingly, all right? And not like a bastard. Because if he wasn't chastising you, that means he ain't dealing with you, man. If you're going through your daily walk and you ain't getting chastised, and you ain't going through it, that means he don't love you, man. He looks at you as a bastard. See, that's these 2/3, man. They going through their normal day, Saturday, going out, having a good time, and that's it. They're not afflicting their souls. They're not presenting themselves as acceptable and holy sacrifices. So guess what? When that time comes, this is going to be what it is. They're not going to have the oil and wine, and they're going to go through it, man. They're just going to have to figure it out, which it ain't going to happen. It says, verse 18, Job 5:18, for he maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth and his hands make whole. Right. So the same way he put us in this predicament is the same way he's getting us up out of this predicament. Okay? By us disobeying him, he made us sore. But by us obeying him, he made us whole, man. All right? He made us whole. Job 5:18, he maketh sore and he bindeth up. He woundeth and his hands make whole. Verse 19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. So right when it's like there's no other place, you in the 6th trouble, hey, he gonna deliver you. Damn, you got the troops after you. They onto your scent. They know where you at. They been watching you, and they figured out everything. Now they got the order decree to go after you. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. So right when the troubles are up against you, he's gonna deliver you. All right, he's gonna deliver you. It's looking like they got you dead to right. You cornered. You at a dead end street. They done hauled and carted you down to the end of the street, and it's a dead end. In 6 troubles, he will deliver thee. Hey man, you may get out that car and put them motherfuckers to flight, man. Or you may just take off on them, man. Who knows? Okay? Only Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahweh Shai. So it says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. You ain't gonna be touched, man. Let's say they get out and they tell you to freeze, and you take off, and they just open up on you like that Matrix movie. Here it is. They shooting everything. They unloading everything on you, but it's just the bullets is just going right by you, nothing touching you. Now, recently on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp had Bobby Brown on his podcast, and allegedly Bobby Brown said he was in the car with his friend that got, unalived because they shot up the car, and Bobby Brown said that they shot 178 bullets into the car, and not now one of the bullets touched Bobby Brown. Now, I don't know if you can believe that in totality, but let's just say they shot 15 bullets into the car, and none of them touched them. How much more us of a man of the Lord when they come out and they try to get after us, that ain't nothing gonna touch us, man. Here it is, they trying to send the drones, the bots, the everything else. They trying to hit us with all type of ammo rounds, and none of it's touching us, man. We got a shield over us, walking through it. Bullets just skew, skew, skew. Man, that's gonna be far out, man. It's saying it right here. Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. That could come in any form. Hunger, physical attack, anything. There shall no evil touch thee. That's why it says, verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Man, it's gonna be far out, man, to have that oil and wine and the Most High be dealing with you, man, through the only begotten Son, Yahushua. It's gonna be far out, man. It's gonna be far out. There should no hunger touch you and no sword touch you in war, man. You covered. You're covered through the blood of Yahushua, man. You're gonna be taken care of, Jake. As long as you got that oil and wine, man. You through, you finished. I mean, you know, you right. You finished, meaning that you ain't got nothing to worry about. You got that oil and wine, it's finished, it's complete. You're through, you're complete. But if you don't got that oil and wine, hey, like in that movie Don't Be a Menace, it may be a parody where it says, I feel sorry for your mother. Well, guess what? I feel sorry for you if you don't have that oil and wine, but not really, okay? Because you had all the time in the world to get that oil and wine, all right? So receive that oil and wine. But guess what? You didn't want to get it. So now evil is going to touch you, famine is going to touch you, the sword is going to touch you, pestilence is going to touch you. Everything is going to touch you because why? You don't have that ointment, that unction. Let's read that again. Verse 20, Job 5:20. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So guess what? We good, man. We good with this truth. In famine, he's going to redeem us from death. We ain't going to have to see the likings of eating our own children, or eating abominable things, or just, you know, experiencing agonizing death, slow and torture. And we're going to be good in famine. And in the war, the sword ain't going to touch us. When he come down with that great wrath, guess what? None of his what's the word, plans, or none of his, you know, plans is going to work against us, man. And like we read earlier, he's right now in daytime, he's practicing darkness. He's getting this shit together, man. Trust and believe, because he knows there's nothing he can do to go up against his word. All right, there's nothing he can do to go up against his word, man. So guess what? He got to come down with great wrath. But guess what? Hey, some of us brothers are going to be endowed with that spiritual power, man, to come up against him. Now we understand also, on the other side, some of us are going to have to give up our lives, man. But even in that, we still win, okay? We still win, even if we have to give up our lives for Yahushua's sake, all right? Let's read that in 2nd Ezra, what's that, 16? This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 71. It reads, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, which are you Israelites, okay? But particularly they want to come after the elect. But see, when they come up against the elect, hey, it's going to be a different story, man. It's going to be a different story when they come up against the elect. All right? The Most High going to deliver the elect from famine, from the sword, from pestilence, for whatever thing they got that they trying to put into place right now. The Most High is going to deliver us from out of that, man. That's why it says in 2 Peter, let's go there. And then we get ready to close out. 2 Peter 2. Second Peter 2:9 says what? The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the just. Salakia. Let's start over from the top. 2 Peter 2:9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations. You see? So the Lord know how to deliver the godly, man. Because why? They are the elect. They have the oil and wine. He knows that's his. Okay, that one got oil and wine. He's being marked for exemption. He knows how to deliver the godly out of temptation. What else? And to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. Right, so no one gets away, man. All right, either you preordained to be destroyed or to be delivered. But either way, the Most High knows how to deliver the godly out of temptation and reserve the unjust for the day of punishment, man. So if you have the oil and wine, guess what? The Most High knows how to deliver you out of that temptation. But if you don't, he knows how to what? Reserve you for the day of judgment, man. So that's why the day's lesson was, hurt not thy oil and wine. Hurt not the oil and wine, okay? So we're going to turn and face the east with that being said. And we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. All right? Shalom. Until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, see you soon. Shalom.